Mike Larson. I'm part of a partnership called Larson Farms that's with myself and my father. We run about 450 head of mother cows. This feedlot here is our backgrounding lot. It will hold a one-time capacity of about 750 head. I'm farming about 900 acres of cropland, mainly alfalfa. We do small grains as rotation. We do cover crops, several different things that way, but the main crop we try to stay in is alfalfa. We do sell alfalfa to the local cuber here. We feed some of it. And the rotation crops, we grow all of our livestock feed. We don't cut any of the grass or pastures. We just pasture those. And then we background the calves to about 800, 850 pounds. We do sometimes buy them. We haven't bought any this year, but we do buy calves and background them too. For several years, we've been involved with NRCS and the Conservation Service, mostly in the EQIP and the previous program that was. I heard about CSP back when I was the Conservation Security Program, and it interested me because the idea of paying the producer for what they were already doing and incentivizing them to do other things, it just seemed like a natural fit to me. The EQIP program has really been good and it puts stuff on the ground, but the CSP gives them a chance to get a little bit of incentive and then move forward and improve the ground, improve their operations through these add-on programs they have. And so it just intrigued me, so I signed up as soon as it was available, and I've been a part of it ever since. I think it's a natural fit with most of their other programs. So if you're using EQIP, I think CSP is just another program you should probably be involved in. The CSP program, EQIP program, really everything that we're doing for our operation is to try to, I guess, make it more sustainable, more self-sufficient. I want to make the land better than when we got here and keep it that way and improve it every way we can so that future generations have the same chance that we've had and can see what's going on. Soil health, soil compaction, a lot of things that have, over the years, there's been a lot of tillage. We have some really bad hard pans in our area. I'm hoping that this can help alleviate some of the mechanical methods we have to use to do it. We're integrating more of the livestock grazing into things and trying to run our farming around both that and the grazing aspect for both the soil health and plus the benefits for the livestock. And it just seemed to work out really well for us so far, and I hope that it just becomes better in the future.
So some of the enhancements that Mike chose to do with his CSP for his crop ground is we had the advanced integrated pest management for his crop ground, doing some scouting for various pests and using adjuvants in his sprays, chemicals that he would use to spray those and control those, and also using drift control nozzles to kind of reduce any impact that it could have on potential non-pests, as well as potentially getting into surface water sources and different things like that. On the pasture, Mike chose to retrofit some of his troughs to add in some escape ramps to help wildlife that could potentially get stuck in those water troughs and drowned. He also chose to do the advanced integrated pest management on the pastures, again scouting for pests and controlling those. You also did the rotational grazing and monitoring the grazing and taking pictures and maintaining a certain grazing height and maintaining records of when your cows are moving in and out.
The sign-up process for me wasn't real difficult because I'd been involved in it in the past, And our local NRCS office is really good to help you out in our FSA office. There are some record requirements. There's some things that you got to sit back and actually think about your operation and where you want to go with it and how you want it to perform to sign up for these programs, because it's incentive based and they want you to add to the program as you go along.
I think one of the biggest things that's important for producers to know is the importance of keeping records, maintaining those so that we have something to go off of. CSP works to reward producers for what they're already doing and incentivize them to upgrade what they're doing to something a little bit better. And knowing what they're already doing pretty well helps me as a conservation planner to know what direction we can head to kind of help increase that level of conservation that they're already getting. Another thing we deal a lot with is leases. People that run on leased ground is maintaining those leases, and if you want to include that in a CSP contract, you need to have at least a 5-year lease and just kind of have an idea of where you're wanting to go. My goal as a conservation planner is to help you become sustainable so the future generation can continue to farm on your operation and continue to feed the world. And if I have an idea where you're wanting to go, it makes my job a lot easier.
What I would say is the most important aspect to consider in CSP is like Dave said, where do you want to go? What are you trying to accomplish? Because you can find enhancements, you can find programs to support about anything you want to do as long as it's good conservation work. These fields here originally were to have a cover crop in them that we were going to plant in July and graze this fall and then carry through the winter, but because of the drought we had to kind of innovate, and we talked with the NRCS and decided we were going to try doing a dormant planting of a 3-way cover crop mix that will sprout in the spring, and we'll grow it. We'll rotational graze that with electric fences, and once we've grazed that off, we're going to try to terminate the crop and come back in with a more traditional cover crop with some deep root plants, some radishes and things like that, try to break up the hard pan in the soil. Our whole purpose of this is to try to twofold, to try to improve the soil health and break up the hard pan in the soil, plus the benefit of the grazing of the animals on the crop to get more pasture and feed for the animals. I'm not sure it's ever been tried before. We're going to try it, see how it works out. This field here, actually, this system was put in with EQIP money, the sprinklers, the pipes and stuff like that, and then the cover crop part of it and the grazing part and the pasture part of it is a combination of EQIP and CSP. With the wheel lines we have here, we can get across the ground about every 10 to 11 days. And while we're doing it as a cover crop, we intend to use the wires to graze the cattle between the wheel lines and be watering on one part and grazing on another. We don't want to go on it when it's wet and cause trouble or compaction that way. But I think that we can water in one spot and then graze the other. I'm actually the chairman of the Sand Peak Conservation District, and by state statute, we're responsible for anything to do with natural resources in the state. And this next project we're going to go look at is kind of a collaborative effort of several of those funding sources and partners. And it turned out really well, so we'll go take a look at that. So we can run this in a 4 different pasture rotation. This pasture is a little bit, we try to stay off of it a little bit because the soils are a little more delicate and tends to have a lot of alkali in it. And then these pastures over here will rotate 1, 2, and 3, and we can take the cattle and rotate them over the summer and keep them here longer by doing that, and not have to take the pastures down so low, and so the grasses and the pastures stay healthier and the cattle stay healthier. It's worked out really well. We did it as kind of a demonstration deal, plus I wanted to do it for my own herd anyway, but we do use it to do some demonstrations, bring people down and look at it. There's a solar panel. This building has a solar pump and a pressure tank in it, and we run 2 artesian wells that run into a tank here, and it's gathered in the tank. Then the solar pump picks it up and puts it into pipelines that run over to these several different Colbay water troughs that are iceless troughs. We don't have to heat them or anything. They're buried in the ground, so the heat from the ground keeps them open. The cattle can't pick and choose just what they want quite as much. They're forced to take it down, then we move them to another and take it down, and so we get more mileage out of it, and the soil and the pasture stay healthier. Stewardship and conservation, it just seems like a natural thing that you want to accomplish. To me, the land that's how I make my living. That's my occupation. So the better I can keep the land, the better I can make it for future generations, the better I feel about it.